Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOHut.com. I'm doing another quick weekly recap of MMO news and announcements for the week ending April 1st, 2012. And anyway, as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news that we'll be taking a look at this week has to do with Tribes Ascend, the F2P MMOFPS game by Hi-Rez Studios. The news is on March 27th. Hi-Rez revealed this week's content update called Cloak and Dagger, which will be introduced and add new content to the Infiltrator class. The class will receive new weapons and 2 new cosmetic skins. The cosmetic skins are being a first for the game. New weapons include the smoke grenade, remote mines, and throwing knives. Odd to see throwing knives in a sci-fi game with laser guns and bullets and flying around, but sometimes old-fashioned knives work best apparently. Next up, on March 27th, City Interactive announced a brand new AAA free-to-play MMOFPS called World of Mercenaries, and I'd love to show you guys some video footage of the game, but as is, all we have is some concept art, which you're seeing right now. Pretty funny to see that every publisher is labeling their own game AAA though. But at least you know the game's graphics will be great because the game does use the Unreal 3 engine. Some notable features of the game are customizable weapons and a focus on teamwork. The game will be available on Steam as well, so it's kind of cool to see so many more F2P games kind of embrace Steam as a means of digital distribution. And again, we don't really know too much about the game, but we will later because the game is beta, well, accepting open beta registration sometime in like 3 days from now, so we'll know more about the game then, but all we got is this screenshot right now, or this concept art. Up next, on March 28th, Forsaken World will launch its Nightfall expansion pack. The expansion introduces flying mounts, new storylines, and most notably, the new Nightfall Citadel area. Another major change in the expansion is a soul power system, which lets players improve their talents. This update has been coming soon for a while, and it finally did launch. Next up is a small bit of news from SG Interactive involving Grand Chase. The news is on March 28th, and on that day, a new update introduced the Playhouse system to the game. And it's basically a player housing system, but it's called the Playhouse system. Nothing incredibly complex, but players can still decorate their own homes, start a garden, and invite their friends to chillax with them at their own place. It's a small update, but an update nonetheless. And in case you're wondering, the video in the background has nothing to do with this Playhouse update, just some random Korean Grand Chase gameplay. Next up is a bit of sad news, a double whammy actually from G-Potato. G-Potato officially shut down 2 of their games, both Priest Online and Luna Online, on March 27th. Priest Online shut down fairly quickly. The game wasn't even out for more than a year. Luna Online though has been around a bit longer, but even that hasn't been around too long. Neither title is being picked up by other publishers in North America, but those who enjoy Luna Online can probably still find the game on various P servers if they googled around. Always sad to see games shut down, but it seems like for every game that does close, 2 more seem to replace it, so free-to-play is still moving forward. In memory of Luna Online, I'll show you guys the Thai version of the game, which actually sounds incredibly weird, random / cute. Alright, moving right along, you can probably find that full video on YouTube by searching Luna Online Thai. I thought it was pretty random / cute, but anyway, on March 29th, Outspark launched an update for Luvenia Online, which added a brand new dungeon to the game and increased the level cap. The most key aspect of the update, of course, is the increased level cap to 87, and the introduction of the new Abyss dungeon to the game, or Abyss. The video in the background is actually the official trailer for the update, and the new Abyss dungeon is massive instance for players level 80+. And I'll actually this video run a bit long because the music in the background is incredibly epic. Next up is some news for our friends across the pond over in Europe. On March 29th, Perfect World announced that Star Trek Online officially launched as a free-to-play title in Europe. The North American version of the game has already been free-to-play for a while, but the EU version is now officially free-to-play as well. Sort of sucks how so many games launch in Korea first, and they come to the US much later, and then eventually in Europe sometime after that. Sometimes Europe actually never gets access to a game either. But yeah, Star Trek Online is free-to-play in Europe now. And moving right along, on March 29th, new details were announced about Phantasy Star Online 2. This is probably the biggest news of the week. Sega actually said in a news conference in Japan, the Phantasy Star Online 2 will be launching as a free-to-play title with microtransactions. As you can see by the video in the background, the gameplay is actually pretty action-oriented as well. The game will be, I believe, the first free-to-play Phantasy Star Online game. It'll be available on both PC and PS Vita in Japan sometime in early summer. At least the PC version, with the Vita version coming sometime later. Closed beta actually begins for the game in April. Unfortunately, there is still no US release information for the game. Hopefully the game does launch in the US, but we don't quite know yet. Well, that's it for MMO news, but as for games launching soon, we have nothing to look at. But as for games that recently launched, we have two titles to look at. The first is Sword Girls Online, which launched into open beta on March 28th. I actually thought SGO launched a bit earlier, but it seems like the game just went into open beta for legits on March 28th. The game is owned and operated by Chang Yu, who also runs Dragon Oath and Zentia in the US. If you haven't heard of Sword Girls Online yet, it's actually a surprisingly fun trading card game MMO, with your average match only lasting a few minutes. So it's actually pretty fast-paced. SGO bros, check it out. The next and last game that launched this week is Auto Club Revolution from Technics. The game launched into open beta, and as you can see from the video in the background, you can pretty easily tell it's a racing MMO. Players can own, customize, upgrade, and race their cars online. Now, graphically speaking, the game looks phenomenal, but I'm not a huge fan of racing games myself, as at least a serious kind. The game does look pretty legit though. It's just that I prefer more hectic gameplay found in Mario Kart-esque games. But gameplay wise, it looks like an actual serious racing game, no crazy items or anything like that, and graphically the game does look pretty awesome. And anyway guys, that's it for MMO news and announcements of the week ending April 1st, 2012. Now if you want to read about or learn more about any of the news mentioned in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/news. If you want to discuss any of this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/forums. Anyway guys, this is Omer, signing off.